Like this guy, Zach, collects actual things that like carry energy.
There's possessed dolls, there's possessed items from movies.
They start talking to us about a real exorcism.
They start playing live recordings from the exorcism.
We're sitting alone in this room. Everyone else goes in. So
Everybody.
we're just sitting.
Payton and I are by ourselves.
We're by ourselves in the room. I like brush my back because I'm like, wait, why did you just touch me?
I was like, I didn't touch your butt.
And I was like, no, like you just grabbed my butt.
No, I didn't.
I literally felt something brush up against my butt. Okay, we have so much to yap about today. I posted on my Instagram. I said, hey, we're going to be in Vegas. We have a day to do something. What should we do? A lot of people suggested that we go to this museum. I just look it up and it says like true crime haunted material. And I'm like, okay, this will be perfect. We can go to the museum. I love true crime. And then we can leave, okay?
Keep in mind, Payton books this and she goes, oh, it's like a true crime haunted museum. I'm going thinking like, oh, we're gonna be in and out in like 20 minutes. It's gonna be really quick, pretty fast. Like it'll be kind of a breeze.
Garrett and I are walking in. We walk into this room. They're like, everyone, turn your mother effing phones off.
Keep in mind, right before we're walking in, I look up how long this tour is gonna be. And it was like a 3-hour tour. And I was like, what?
So 3 hours. They tell us it's 3 hours.
I was like, no way.
And I signed the waivers and I didn't tell Garrett, but when I signed the waivers, I literally had to sign that like, if we get physically ill, if we faint and get hurt, they are not liable. If we have a spirit attached to us when we leave,
footage, they can use cameras.
They are not liable. The entire thing is filmed because, I didn't know this, Zak Bagans is a paranormal investigator and he has a show. And so sometimes he uses footage from his haunted museum.
A lot of the times.
On his show. So you're being filmed the entire time. You just have to give consent that whatever happens in this museum can be used, okay? But you know that feeling when like you're excited to do something and then like it starts and you kind of get like uneasy? Like that's the feeling I was getting before we entered the tour. Like these waivers were like, if something touches you or hurts you in this museum, they are not liable. They literally take us into the first room. They sit us down. We're in like a church looking, well, no, they tell us that this house is haunted. They tell us the history of the house was that when it was originally built, all 3 families who lived in the house had really bad paranormal experiences. There had been people murdered in this house. And then Zak Bagans eventually bought it because it was such a haunted house. They start talking to us about a real exorcism that happened where this girl was being possessed by a demon. They tell us the whole story of her and that like she literally ended up dying during an exorcism because she was like 18 years old and weighed like 68 pounds because this demon wouldn't let her eat. And they were just doing exorcism after exorcism after exorcism on her.
And the worst part, they start playing live recordings from the exorcism. So at first I was like, what the hell? Like what is going on?
They're playing the recordings and like, yeah, I mean, she sounds
possessed.
Okay, and
what
this
you
is
would
the other
consider
thing.
Possessed.
I can't explain how eerie it was to go into room 1 of this experience, not knowing what I was getting into and hearing like a live recording of someone's horror or being tortured, or I wanted to barf.
Yeah, I wanted to throw up.
I was like, whoa, this is intense. And literally we're just sitting in a room. It is dead silent with 12 other people in kind of in dimly lit room listening to someone's exorcism. It's a real person.
Yeah, that was the first room. Like that was the very first room. And I walked out going, I have 2.5 more hours of this. What am I going to do with my life?
Because it was so heavy.
It was
like
so
that
heavy.
room was heavy. Like this guy, Zach, collects actual things that like carry energy.
There's dolls, there's possessed items from movies. I don't even know. There's like so many possessed things.
We go to true crime room. It's all the true crime memorabilia, not all, but majority of the true crime memorabilia that he has collected. This room did not have very much bad energy, surprisingly.
No, it didn't. And it had crazy stuff.
They had a pair of Ted Bundy's glasses that was found at one of the dead bodies.
Lots of news articles, lots of newspapers.
They had the bag that Ted Bundy kept in his bug that had like the ropes and stuff.
They had like hair from, was it Richard Ramirez or Ted Bundy?
No, they had foot scrapings from Richard Ramirez, I'm pretty sure.
Gosh.
They had John Wayne Gacy stuff. So the one thing in the celebrity room that really messed me up was right at the very end, there was a glass case and a dress in it. And I realized it was Sharon Tate's wedding dress, which if you don't know, Sharon Tate is the celebrity that was murdered during the Charles Manson family murders. And she was the one who was 8 months months pregnant, and they literally stabbed her to death, and he has her wedding dress. He bought it. We went into the next room, and this was the first room that they gave a trigger warning for. But then they said it was a serial killer true crime thing. And I was like, okay, I have to go in. Like, it's true crime. I decide, ignore the trigger warning, and we're going to go in. And I'm not like going to say this part, but let's just say like the things that he had bought from this serial killer were very graphic.
We both closed our eyes and said, nope.
I can't look at this. Yeah. Like, it was actual stuff.
No, I can't.
Used during like killings. Yeah. It was just not.
Nope, don't do it. Don't do
Tools, stuff like that.
This stuff, nah.
And also, this serial killer took photos while he was torturing these people, and they had the photos plastered all over the wall. I didn't look at any of the photos, and I'm sitting here going, those are real people who died being tortured now.
I'm pretty sure we walked out early because we were like, no.
No, I walked out early. I was like, what the why would you put those photos up?
We walked out of a lot of rooms.
Victim photos.
And skipped a lot of rooms, so.
During their murders.
That room was really, really heavy.
So heavy.
Extremely heavy.
You wanted to just throw up and cry.
Yeah.
Like, I can't even explain to you the energy that was in that room.
Very, very heavy.
So we walk out, then we go into a room that has like a box. This is where the haunted stuff starts. Has this box that apparently there's like 7 of them in the world, and like people who open them just like have strokes immediately.
What was it called?
I think it's Dybbuk.
Dybbuk?
I don't remember how they were saying it. He has like the one that sits at the roots.
Yeah, so it's like the worst one he was saying.
A glass case. You can't touch it. You can't go near it. It's like roped off.
Peyton and I both stayed out of the room, and
we're sitting alone in this room. Everyone else goes in. So
everybody.
We're just sitting.
Peyton and I are by ourselves.
We're by ourselves in the room, okay? I like brush my back because I'm like, wait, why did you just touch me?
I was like, I didn't touch your butt.
And I was like, no, like you just grabbed my butt.
No, I didn't.
Okay, guys, I am not lying.
I was like, you would know if I grabbed your butt.
I'm not even lying. Like, it freaked me out. I literally felt something like brush up against my butt. So then we go to all the haunted stuff. There were 3 rooms that we opted out of?
Might have been 4. We opted out of so many rooms.
The only room we did go into, this was the worst room for me. I genuinely thought I was going to pass out. So we go in this room. It's a Conjuring room. Apparently he has collected so much from the Conjuring movies. He has the actual chair that the Conjuring story is based off of.
The devil's chair? The devil's chair?
He has it. Yeah. It's in there. It's like locked behind a door. Like you can't even go near it, but he has it. But that wasn't the thing that got me. They're like telling us, and they're like, and now if you look over in this corner, you'll see a giant demon.
And this thing is huge. It's probably 7 feet tall?
I'm already getting lightheaded again.
Is it like 7 feet tall?
I don't know what this demon has done to me, but it messes me up.
It's tall. It's like a 7 foot, I don't know, huge all black demon.
When I say demon, I mean like think about the scariest thing that you could think, and it's like hairy and it's evil looking.
I would pull it up, but Peyton would probably pass out.
So I hadn't seen it because it's all black and the room was so dimly lit that like my eyes hadn't caught it. So when they tell me to look over, I'm looking at that thing immediately lightheaded. I turned around and I put my head into Garrett's chest and I bent my legs and I just said, breathe in, breathe out, breathe in. I am not even lying. I am not even lying. That's how intense it felt. I think it was actually the adrenaline that did it because I didn't notice that this huge 8-foot giant creature was in this room with us. And then when they like pointed it out and I was like, what? That's been in here this whole time and I didn't see it. And I looked right in its eyes. I think it just freaked me out a little.
Do you want to mention the one we skipped or do you think it's inappropriate?
I don't think it's inappropriate, but
I mean, it's inappropriate.
It's inappropriate.
Which is why we skipped it.
This one like solidified the deal for me that like these people clearly do not comprehend the severity of what they're doing.
And this was like one of the last rooms. I think there was a few more after this.
They give us a trigger warning for this room. And when they give you the trigger warning, they tell you what it is. And she literally goes, back in like during the witch trials, there was a man in this town who was executed. And then the townspeople buried him, but then their crops started dying and they said that he was haunted and that his dead body was killing their crops. And so they unearthed him and they beheaded him. And then the body just kind of went all different ways after that. Okay. Zak bought this guy's head.
He bought the freaking head from a random guy basically and stored it in his haunted house where people walk past it.
She literally goes, you're not allowed to talk in this room and we won't be stopping. You will be as quiet as possible and you will just walk by and look at the head and keep going because out of respect. We did not go in, you guys. And this is when I was like, Garrett, we are done with this tour. Like, I'm done. I don't want to go in any more rooms.
We went through the rest of like some smaller rooms and then we left. It was over basically.
And I'm thinking, to respect the victim, you're not going to talk. You literally bought someone's head who was executed for something he didn't even do.
From like a business standpoint and entertainment, Zak's good at what he does as far as like all those haunting objects, the possessed and all the other stuff he has.
Was very
like impressive. It's crazy he has all that. They do a really good job with all that.
I would say like the biggest thing for me that I felt like probably should not be in this museum was the serial killer room that had the pictures and all of that stuff. I think that they should just ex-nay that room. I don't know why you would ever buy that stuff. I think the head room should be gone.
Yeah.
Overall opinion, would not go through again. Was it an experience? Yes. Did I opt out of rooms that I feel comfortable with my decision? Yes. Rating the house out of 10, like the experience overall, I honestly would give it an 8 out of 10. I think if you do not mind like energy and looking at haunted dolls and stuff like that, but I will say, like, I just think that it's like ethically not great. That obviously is just my opinion. But anyways, that was our overall experience. And I will say it was crazy.
I think it's definitely something too you do once and you never do it again.
Unless you're Zak Bagans.